For centuries, the Imperial fleet had moved from world to world like an inexorable tide. Wherever its dreadnoughts appeared, civilizations surrendered or died. From the fringes of the Orion expanse to the scorched moons of Tau Proxima, no power had ever withstood a full armada assault. The supreme strategos, Varos Kell, had built his legacy on that certainty. He had shattered alliances and burned continents in the Emperor's name. So when word came that Earth, one of the last Terran enclaves, had refused tribute, the decision was simple: obliterate them. He had not given a second thought to the records that called humanity the eternal outliers, or to the handful of old war chronicles that hinted Earth had survived apocalypses before. In the vast, silent command deck of the flagship Imperium Resurgent, Varro stood with his hands clasped behind his back. Before him stretched the Armada, more than 1,000 warships forming concentric rings around Earth's blue curve. The tactical overseer turned from her console, her voice confident. All vessels report ready, strategos. Weapon batteries charged. Targeting arrays locked. Varos nodded once. Transmit ultimatum. The message was simple and absolute. This is the Imperial Armada. You will submit and offer unconditional surrender, or be annihilated. Respond within 100 cycles. They waited. Seconds passed. Then minutes. No reply came. Varos felt irritation, not fear. He gestured to the overseer. Begin bombardment. A ripple of acknowledgement swept through the fleet. In perfect synchrony, the Armada's primary batteries ignited. Lines of energy so bright they left afterimages streaked across the void, converging on Earth's upper atmosphere. But the beams never struck. Instead, they vanished, extinguished as if some invisible curtain had fallen across space. Confirm impact, Varos demanded. No impact, the overseer whispered, eyes wide. No atmospheric entry. No residual energy. Our fire was absorbed. By what? Unknown. He turned back to the viewport, his gut tightening. For the first time in his career, he felt something cold and unfamiliar at the edges of his certainty. Then, without warning, a second phenomenon began. Tiny points of white light appeared in orbit around Earth, hundreds of them, equidistant, each pulsing with a rhythm like a heartbeat. As the Armada's sensors locked onto the lights, data feeds erupted in alarms. Unidentified constructs forming a spherical perimeter around the planet, the overseer reported, voice shaking. Energy output is impossible. Off the scales. Varro stared. He had read of this once, in a banned archive. The Aegis Array. A planetary defense network rumored to have ended entire invasions during the Twilight Wars, technology so advanced it defied replication. No civilization could have rebuilt that, he murmured. But there it was. A voice spoke across every Imperial frequency, calm as a whisper, yet so loud it seemed to resonate through the bones of every crewman. You were warned. Varos clenched his jaw. Who speaks? This is Earth, the voice replied. This is humanity. You have come here to erase us. You will leave with nothing. The overseer turned, pallid. Strategos, orders? Retreat, Varos said instantly. All vessels. He never finished. The Aegis Array came to life. White beams lanced outward, but they were not like any weapon Varos had ever seen. They did not explode or burn. They simply touched Imperial ships, and in the instant of contact, the ship ceased to exist. From the command deck, he watched as colossal dreadnoughts, carriers, and destroyers disappeared in perfect silence, no wreckage, no radiation, only the empty dark where they had hovered. The Imperium Resurgent trembled as a beam swept past, annihilating half the escort flotilla. Move us clear. Varos barked, voice cracking. Full reverse thrust. It was too late. Another beam traced a line along the flagship's hull. In the space of a heartbeat, half the ship dissolved. The artificial gravity failed. Varos felt himself lifted from the deck as the command spire came apart around him. In that final moment, as the stars rotated in his view, he saw the Aegis array pulsing calmly, indifferent to all their arrogance. And he knew the truth that the Empire had refused to believe: humanity had never been conquered because it could not be conquered. He thought of the other strategoi, all the emperors before him, all the centuries of triumph, and how little it had prepared them to face an enemy that had spent millennia learning how not to die. Then everything went black. When the Imperial capital received the last fragmented transmissions, panic spread faster than any fleet. The Senate called emergency councils. Priests wailed of judgment. Millions demanded retribution. But no retribution came. No fleet was dispatched. No new invasion was plotted. Because across the Empire, everyone who had watched the feed knew that the Armada, the single greatest instrument of Imperial power, had vanished in a single moment, against a foe that had not even needed to leave orbit. In the days that followed, a message arrived from Earth, relayed on every frequency. We are humanity. We endure. Do not come again. And for the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire learned what it meant to be afraid.